Hello.
Hello, Arun. So, welcome everyone to this webinar. This is our second webinar introducing the Yoga Sadhana program that we are starting on October 2nd, which is the day of Vijayadashmi. We will start with a prayer by Aarti and then we'll continue from there.
श्रीकृष्णवागीशयतीश्वराभ्याम् सम्प्राप्तचक्राङ्कणभाष्यसारम् श्रीनूत्नरङ्गेन्द्रयतौ समर्पितस्वम् श्रीकृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमीडे विरोदे कार्तिके मासे शतताराकृतोदयम् योगाचार्यं कृष्णमार्यं गुरुवर्यमहं भजे कृष्णसूरीदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्देऽहं योगदेशिकम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः
Welcome everyone.
Welcome everyone.
Okay, can all of you mute? Okay, all right. So, Aarti, we can pull down the poster. So, welcome everyone to our second webinar on Yoga Sadhana. I'm Lekha, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce the Yoga Sadhana program again to some of you who have already attended the sadhana and to some of you who are new to this space. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Yoga Sadhana. It's probably one of the biggest loves of my life. And I'm really thrilled that today, as I meet all of you, uh, we also have Saras, who actually created and designed this program. And we have Aarti, Gauri, who are part of the co-facilitating team of this program. As some of you already know,
Tarini who did the drawings for the
I was
program.
coming to that. I was coming to that. So, as many of you would know, this yoga sadhana is very different from the yoga sadhana that we have offered before. The reason being that this yoga sadhana is built around a book, Saras's first book, which I'm extremely proud of. Saras's first book, which is an yoga sadhana practice book or a practice companion. And it's my absolute joy that Tarini, who actually co-authored this book with Saras, in the sense all the practices were drawn by Tarini. And to Tarini, on a side note, I just take the book and look at your drawings just for the sheer joy of it, because they are absolutely delightful to look at. So we also have the good fortune that Tarini is here. So without a lot of taking a lot of your time, I'm going to follow the ancient parampara of our country, which is that the best kind of learning happens through questions and answers. So if you see many of our ancient texts, they're all Q&A. So a student goes and asks the teacher a question. Most of the time, the teacher says, go find out the answer yourself. I'm hoping that Saras does not do that to us today. So I'm going to be the student. I'm going to be a participant who has a lot of questions. And I'm hoping to answer ask Saras the questions that you guys may have in your mind. And if I've left out anything, then there is a Q&A session when you can you know, bring your questions also to this space. So, Saras, I'm going to start with, of course, asking you about the book itself, because the book is the inspiration behind this program. So, what was your intention when you conceived this book? What was your inspiration? And what do you hope that this book will bring to the Yogavahini community and to the larger world of yoga practice?
So the book itself, I think, was inspired by you because you gave me the idea to write a book, and you gave me the template on a quiet Sunday morning, sitting and sipping some tea in our farm, and you said, "Why don't we do something like this?" And same day, I think you gave me a template on an Excel sheet, and I said, "Okay." I looked at it, and it seemed quite simple. Then when it took some time, that was like 2 years ago or almost 3 years ago, it took some time for that to take form. And then once I started working on it, it just became more and more intense for me, especially coming to the second, and of course when I came to the third volume, Ishwara Pranidhana, like, it was so tough because it demanded that I go deeper into myself and ask many of these questions um, that any practitioner progressing on the path of yoga would ask of a teacher, of oneself. And it is not about finding answers also. It is really about holding those questions and seeing how can these questions be directed in a way through our own practice and experience and journaling and all that, in a way that there is more clarity. At least you see the next step forward. So you can learn so much from a teacher in a class on Yoga Sutra, but unless we bring it into our own practice and really inquire into what that means, we can't really progress. So I found that whole process happening for me, and I don't know whether it was the book that inspired the course, because the course existed even before the book. And we have been working with Kriya Yoga for quite some time. Yoga Sadhana, the first Yoga Sadhana was 6 months long, which I taught at home, where a small group of people would come and we would study, practice, have breakfast together, and simply chat and go back every week for 6 months. Then Lekha came in and she said, 6 months is not enough for me. I need a 1 year yoga sadhana course. So we made it a 1 year yoga sadhana course, that batch. Then over a period of time, it has taken many forms and slowly it became online. And when it became online, we made it like a 8 week program. And I have even done a 12-week yoga sadhana program with the Heartfulness Foundation. Um, then we did a retreat. And after the retreat, we said, what a shame. Why should we do this online? We should do this in person. So we made that online program shorter, more like a precursor to the retreat, physical in person retreat. And thought people who come to the online 3 weekend program, after a few batches, we will do a retreat and see what happens. In the meanwhile, this book has been taking shape. And one thing that was really bothering me, the gap that we felt with every batch of yoga sadhana coming in, and great learning, people are very happy. It's such a beautiful, nourishing space for all of us, not just the participants. We found that after the program, then there's a gap, and then some people continue, some people have got into training, some people who have finished their training and they're already teachers and therapists also come in and do the program, and they find that it is further deepening their learning and their teaching. But many people drop off, right? Because I think that's not long enough and continuous enough. So this thought was there how to offer something that brings a certain continuity to the practice and the learning and the engagement as a community. And in some way, I think this is born out of that.
Saras, I watched you work on the book along with Tarini, and I know that the process of creating the book itself was tapas,
Tapas.
because there was so much of churning as you worked with the practices. I remember you going back to your teachers, to your seniors, and reworking on the practice. And I know how many times Tarini had to redo the practices as well. So I want to quickly pull in Tarini and really ask her about the process and how the creation of the book itself was tapas for you.
For me, thank you for allowing me to share, because it was quite a, yeah, we started out with just some ideas and I'm like, yeah, I can draw it up for you. We had no idea it was going to take shape in the way that it did. But what was so great is the way a lot of us from the Sangha all came together to contribute. I feel like in that way we had all of you, everybody here, in mind, well, as the practices were created, because we all have different bodies, so we wanted, and breath and capacities, so we wanted to hear from everybody, like how are you, how is this practice helping you, or any feedback. So much of that back and forth in as a big team all came together. And I like to make the little joke of, yeah, we went in and I mean, even every little foot that's drawn in there was erased and redrawn. Like, every little thing was taken into account, so that it's like, how can we make this as clear as possible for people to be able to follow along? We considered, oh, is this a beginner practitioner that's never been exposed to Krishnamacharya yoga, or is this also for like maybe a teacher, that this will help like guide some of the ways that they're also teaching others, and also just like what do we want this to invoke in the student that's practicing this. So it was such a way of not only working with my own practice and practicing like each of these practices a lot, but also trying to put ourselves in the shoes of all of you, and thinking of how it can really benefit you and support you to, even if it's 20-30 minutes, to just have like a companion, that little companion that's there, that's saying, okay, let's do this practice now, and maybe this is something you can think of. So to bring us even out of the physical body and see of how this can affect our lives. So I hope that's helpful. It was very much a practice of, okay, constantly remembering those little stick figures and their noses and their feet and their like all of that. So thanks. It's been a really big honor to be a part of. And then to see how it's going to turn into these courses, it's really exciting to be a part of, witness.
Thank you, Tarini. I think you brought in something that is very important, which is that when it comes to yoga sadhana, there is nothing like an individual practice. Everything that we do in the yoga sadhana space is a teamwork. And the team is not just the team of teachers, but there's a whole team behind the teachers who also support and make it possible for us to bring this program to a wider audience. So, Saras, on that note, self serving as it may sound, please tell us about the team and what is it that you think each of the team member brings that is unique to this program.
So right now, this is the configuration of the Yoga Sadhana team, and I'm assuming and hoping that this team will also expand. Maybe there will be more teams working on this course. Lekha, who's been with me on this journey ever since we did that 1 year uh, yoga sadhana, and after that, you did quite a few yoga sadhanas as well. What you bring in to this work is your enthusiasm and your optimism. You know, like I see you as an incorrigible optimist. And sometimes, like I wonder where is this enthusiasm and energy coming from, right? So in some way, I think you have been very instrumental in keeping this course alive. I should say that, including seeding this book, right? And also being very flexible to see in all the forms that this course is taken, because I don't stay with one thing, I keep changing. And it's not easy for people to work with me in that way, but you have stuck on, so I should congratulate you on that. And Gauri, I don't know, Gauri is the next person who's been with us for the longest time. And she fell in love with this course. She did long ago. And then she somehow, became such an integral part of the team. And Gauri, what you bring in, which people here in the online setting may not experience so much, that I truly experienced in the in person retreat, is a deeply caring and nourishing person, and you do it so joyfully and lightly. There's a lot of lightness that you bring into it, into the conversations we have, into the questions you bring, into your sharing, and the way you also somehow you are there. I don't know what time it is for you, wherever you are, but we have seen you like wake up all unorthodox times and be there for the session. That's the kind of commitment that you bring into your participation, which I really deeply appreciate. The more recent um, teammates have been, of course, Mamta. Mamta is not here. Mamta has been with Yoga Vahini since the inception, I should say. She was from the first batch of yoga teacher training, and then she has herself conducted many yoga sadhana programs in Hyderabad, in person, online, all of that. She is not able to be here because she's teaching another course in Hyderabad now. She will be very much part of the course. And Mamta has been such a silent, steady, and strong support to the Yoga Vahini work by itself, and particularly Yoga Sadhana. And what she will bring in will be very unique and special, because um, her ability to listen deeply and connect with people and just offer something in a very quiet, unobtrusive way. It's just something so beautiful that I'm trying to learn from her as well. So that is what Mamta will bring, and of course you will meet her. Hopefully you will join the course and meet her. Then more recently we have Aarti and Divya. Divya is not here, I think. Aarti is here. So Aarti was really the person who brought all of this together when we uh, decided that I can't just draw all these 52-week practices and put it in a book. I need to run it by my colleagues, the teachers who are teaching. Some of them have been with us for a very long time. So almost like 20 people. Yeah. Aarti did this job of coordinating with all these people and sending them individual practices. They had to do 2 times each practice and give feedback. And we will, that feedback will come back to me, and then I will sit with Tarini and rework it. So, like a very steady, committed pace at which she worked, which is very rare. That's a quality that I haven't seen in a lot of people. Like, you tell Aarti something, she will do it. I don't need to uh, remind her 100 times and all of that. And then, of course, you heard her lovely voice as she was chanting. She's a wonderful teacher. You know? All those who have experienced her teaching say, "Oh, it is so nice. I really feel like I've experienced something very deep." So she has that ability to connect with people, because she's also working very closely with me at the Yoga Center in Chennai. So she has really been able to hold her students, therapy students, in a very gentle, kind, and firm manner also, because many of them continue to work with her for a long time, which is not easy for people who come for therapy. After the problem resolves, they will vanish. But some of her students continue to work with her and come back to us. Divya is also new. She finished her teacher training recently, but I know Divya from very long ago because she did one teacher training with me, and she was also my colleague at Krishnamacharya Yoga Mandiram. She assisted me with the research department, and she she has a completely different set of skills that she brings into the work in her writing, her editing, and her ability to look at the nuances of everything and give feedback. And also, in many ways, I think she brings in her long term study and association with yoga, along with her chanting. And of course, her mother is a great teacher. So she somehow has grown up, imbibing yoga as a child. I've known her since a child. So all that Divya will bring in. And of course, I'm hoping Tarini will be part of this in some way, because you have been such a fundamental part of this whole thing. Mala is not here. Mala has, there are some people who are working in the back end. They're also part of the team. We have Ranjit, who does all our visuals and all of that, and then Mala, who by whom I vet every statement I write. It's like I need Mala to go through it, because she really guides me on communication. Not what I speak, but what I write. Okay, so she's been such a solid support for me since the inception of Yoga Vahini. Our relationship goes very, very far back, and she continues to unconditionally support this work. Have I missed anybody? And of course,
Veena.
all our teachers and community. Sundar,
Veena.
my husband, of course.
Also Veena.
Veena. So Veena has been, she was briefly working with Yoga Vahini, but she has like a lifelong connection with all of us, because she brings in a lot of technical knowledge, particularly around social media marketing and all that. And very sweetly, quietly, she will work and get things done. That was Veena. I hope you will also. She will be participating in the course, so you will also meet her.
You could also mention the other people that demonstrated and the videographer maybe.
Yeah, thank you. So, in the videos that you see, all of them are pre-recorded. We have Mrinalini and Nitya apart from Tarini, and Veena. So, four of them have done for the first volume. We're still doing the work. And of course, Kiran, who did the shoot and edited and put everything together. And you cannot imagine uh, the amount of intensity and work that has gone into this course. It's nothing, it is, all our training programs, nothing compared to this. But we are doing this because it is really like creating like a bed, where we are going to have seeds sown. So it has to be the right condition for the seeds to grow. So we're really taking a lot of care in that, and bringing the right people to support. So there's a lot of things happening in the back end for us to come here and share and do the work. Thank you, Tarini.
Thank you, Saras. So I'm going to take a minute or so to just quickly run through a couple of factual detailing. First is about the book. So the book is a three-part book. It is a practice companion, essentially. So it has ideas from the Yoga Sutra. It has practices that someone can do, very beautifully drawn by Tarini, I must say. And it has journaling prompts. Yeah. So that there are spaces where you can actually reflect after doing a practice. And the part two and part three of the book are likely to be out end of this year or early next year. Okay. And the three books are based on the three principles of Kriya Yoga: Tapas, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhana. Our first 4 month journey of Yoga Sadhana is based on workbook one, which is based on tapas, which is the first principle of Kriya Yoga. And this workbook is readily available on Amazon in India. And if someone is outside of India, if you could reach out to our team, we will figure out a way to get you the book, right? We will either send it to you by post, or we'll figure out some other way of letting you have this book. It's a beautiful book. Like I said, I look at the book every day just because it gives me joy. The
Right
program
now,
is,
Right
Yeah.
now, Lekha, we have copies in Australia if anybody is there.
Yeah.
We have contacts. We have. I will be carrying some copies to UK. There are some copies which have gone to Germany, and there will be some copies going to France as well. So we are trying to spread. Maybe US, we have to find somebody who can take it.
Yeah.
That can be sent, shipped from there.
And we hope to be on Amazon globally as well, sometime very soon. So as far as the program is concerned, the first module of Yoga Sadhana is 4 months long, about more than 120 hours of classes. So it is divided into 3 parts. The first part is Mondays and Thursdays. We have an Asana Pranayama group class. So the way these classes will be done is this practice is pre-recorded with Saras giving the instructions, and we will be live streaming these recordings, and we will be offering live teaching support, which means there will be Arti and Divya who will be in the sessions, and they will be available to offer modifications or answer questions and things like that. Thank you. So that's the first component of this. The second component of this program is 3 Saturdays in a month. We have a 2 hour session, which will be offered, which will be a space for us to look at whatever questions or insights that may have come up during the course of the week, for us to share, reflect, do all of that, and also look at simple everyday practices that we can incorporate into our life. So these are practices, some will be on the mat, but some will be off the mat. And then the fourth Saturday of every month, we have a masterclass with Saras where we will be looking a little more deeply at the concepts that guide these practices. Yeah, so that will be the overall structure. This entire journey will be supported by a community WhatsApp group where you will have the space to reflect, to share, to ask questions. You will also, as a participant, have access to the teachers, and if you would like to talk to any one of us one on one, that was also possible. So this is kind of the overall structure of this program. So what I want to actually really do is invite Gauri to kind of just run us through her own experience of how, you know, these three components of journaling, of having a consistent asana pranayama practice, and those Saturday sessions where we reflect and we study, how all of that weaves in together to kind of form a personal sadhana journey.
So you brought all three, Tapas, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhana, into one question that I have to answer.
I don't think any of them are standalone, so
No, no.
yeah.
I'm actually going to begin by saying why the yoga sadhana and what it means to me. Because what the sadhana teaches is how to practice yoga every minute. Otherwise, I used to think of it as an asana pranayama practice. But what does that do? What is asana and pranayama? In a certain sense, the precursor in your life for is something that is far more deeply understood through the sadhana program. So I've forgotten the list, the hierarchy of your questions, Lekha, but I will try. What the sadhana program does in terms of an asana practice and asana pranayama on the mat, I'm specifically saying on the mat every day, is you learn how to listen to your body. You learn how to accept where your body is. And for me also, I learn what can I change in my lifestyle that will enable me to have a better practice. So if I'm watching a movie till 3 in the morning, I cannot get up at 5:30 to practice. So I have to shift that. If I'm eating snacks late into the night, then either I'm going to have an acidity issue or my stomach is not going to be fine. So I think part of what doing that practice every day together allows us to see that we all bring our issues to our practice. And we are encouraged by one another in that space. I'm not the only one who stayed up late. I'm not the only one who did not necessarily do the right thing for myself. And it's okay to move on from there. Today is a new day. What I did yesterday, I did. I think the journaling question, which for me is actually the hardest because I don't like journaling. So I'm going to share my personal journey with why the journaling helps. It forces you to confront things that you may not want to say. For me, that's what journaling does. I am forced to reach inside myself to say what I am truly feeling. It also gives me a reflection point to look back at after. So maybe 1 week down the road, when I open that book and I feel, yesterday I was not able to do every repetition with the same breath. But today, after 7 days, it is better. I'm also able to reflect on what I may have changed along the way in order to enable this. And why the Saturdays together. This can be a very self-judgmental path because we always see somebody else as having done everything right and therefore having the right result. And I messed up on this, I screwed up on that, so I can't expect to be. There's a lot of that self-judgment that we exercise all the time. And when we are together in a nurturing group and we speak our truth, we realize that everybody is battling their own set of demons. And everyone else is accepting them with that. So maybe I'm acceptable too with my qualities that can be changed. That really, really, really for me makes a difference, knowing that I have people who will hold me, who will help me accept myself. And that accepting yourself is the first step to change. Because otherwise I'm in denial or I'm blaming somebody else. For me, that coming together, the Sangha is a vital, vital, vital part of this journey. And so I would urge every person who joins this program to join the 2 sessions, practice every day, journal, and please come on Saturdays and share where you are and help others share where they are. Yeah. Does that answer the question, Lekha? Did I miss something?
No. As always, it
I
was.
wanted to add one thing. Thank you, Gauri, for sharing so beautifully. This whole idea of coming together and sharing, the journaling, this is not happening anywhere. Like we all have a practice. Been practicing for many years, some of us on and off, some of us dropping off, coming back. but we don't have a space where we can talk about our practice. We can talk about what's happening to the body, how's the breath, ask questions about the practice. We don't have. In all the years we have done training, we have attempted to come back to that, but it has been very difficult because the training is a completely different path. People, the mode is like I want to learn something so I can deliver or teach. But going back to our own practice and thinking about it, writing about it, talking about it, sharing, listening to each other, we don't have a space. Yoga sadhana provides that space. And that's why we want to keep it a little longer and more engaging. Yeah, thank you.
It's actually a very beautiful point you shared, Saras, because the one thing that I feel is in this space of the yoga sadhana, everybody is the teacher, everybody is the student. It's not, there's no one-way delivery or receival. If you talk about something, it helps me to ask two questions. One, have I experienced that? Two, if I am feeling joy or discomfort, what is it within me that is making me sense that and hold that for you? And in that sense, this entire program is really only a journey together. And that you're absolutely, thank you, because I do agree with you that in any training program, there is a result which is external to us. I want to learn in order to be able to teach. I want to learn in order to get the certificate. But in the sadhana program, there's nothing to prove to anybody. We are the teacher, we are the student, we are the judge, we are the recipient. And we're all so lucky.
Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, Saras. Because one of the questions that is often asked is, how does this particular format of yoga sadhana, how is it different from a regular group class? And I can assure you that it is very, very, very different, because of the simple reason that you are not alone on this path. You are being held, and you are heard, and you are seen. And I think that makes a lot of difference. Another question, which is to Aarti, is Aarti and Divya, you guys are teaching the Asana Pranayama group class, right? And it has a very strange format, which is that you are going to be streaming a pre-recorded session, but at the same time, you're going to be there present to offer teaching support. So can you tell us why this particular format and how is this beneficial?
Thank you, Lekha. So, this is the first time we are trying something like this. Normally, it's we just ma'am, we discuss with Saras ma'am. We draw a course plan, and then we practice it ourselves, and then we instruct. But this time, we are so excited that we're going to be listening to ma'am's voice, because we have been practicing with her, listening to her for so many years now. When I do my personal practice, I can hear her. So then I can hear her, I can see how she will speak. Like, sometimes when you're just sitting and watching, I can see her facial expressions, the way she says it, the voice modulation and everything. So it's very special to me that way. It's just that it's my connection with my teacher. That is what is the beauty of this tradition. We are always connected to our teacher and to the Sangha. Yes. So now when everyone practices with this, they all get to listen to ma'am's voice. So that is like a beautiful thread that will keep bringing you back to the center, which is what we want the practice to achieve. Like how Gauri said, how can we practice yoga off the mat? How can we take the yoga sadhana off the mat? So that when we keep listening to the same voice, practicing with that voice, I think we get filtered in that way. Now, with respect to, so there might be people who are, rather, there are people who have enrolled who are very senior teachers or absolute beginners in our tradition. So now that being the case, since Divya and I are going to be observing the class, in case there are people who are beginners and they find it difficult, or they are not able to understand a certain, practice or our principles, like how we always insist on, the breath so much, how we want to coordinate the movement with the breath. So we can always take it back to the WhatsApp format, or we can help them to connect with it in a separate text. That way we are helping to handhold them personally. But then the core is coming from the text from ma'am, because it's like her child that she has, brought in for all of us to experience. So that's how this is very different and very special for me. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Aarti. So it's very beautiful. It's like, sometimes when you practice and you have a mirror in front of you, I feel like Divya and Aarti will be that mirror. So as you practice, you will be able to see how the practice is, and then they will be available to answer questions, or if you need a modification or an explanation of something, they're going to be there to handhold. Another question that we are often asked when we offer the yoga sadhana is, what is expected of a participant, like other than showing up for the class and doing. So I'm going to ask this to Gauri. What is expected of a participant of yoga sadhana? What is in terms of time, in terms of effort, in terms of.
In terms of prior knowledge, in how I look at the sadhana, you need to have nothing. You just need to be open and just come and say, let me hear, let me feel. Yoga, I once asked a person who practices Buddhism, I said, are you Buddhist? And he said, I'm not Buddhist. I practice Buddhism. And one day maybe I will become Buddhist. And I think yoga for me is very much like that. We practice, and one day maybe we become that. So this entire journey is about simply practicing. The beauty of the Yoga Sadhana program is that it teaches you how to practice. So what do you need to bring? Yourself, an open mind, a willingness to stumble, a willingness to be honest, acknowledge that you couldn't do what you want to do, or you wanted to do, or you thought you should do. The honesty of saying, this is who I am, this is where I am, in terms of your body, or your mind, or your senses, is all I believe you really need to bring with you. It will help if you have slept enough. It will help if you are able to wrap up other things you need to do. So when you are in your practice every day, or when we are all together on a Saturday, you are able to be completely present. I would say that the desire, and this is a good desire to have, to learn, to share, and to accept. Kindness, tenderness, really. The sadhana is, honestly, I don't think there's a program like this run by anybody anywhere. Just, it's a space which teaches you how to love yourself and how to offer that love to everybody. Really, that's what it is. So yeah, you just have to bring yourself. You don't need to know anything. Aarti and Divya are there. They will help you if you don't know how to do something, or if your body is not wanting to do something, and that is acceptable too. So they will tell you how to circumvent and to entice it into eventually doing something like what the person on the mat is showing you.
Thank you, Gauri. So you spoke about learning and sharing. So that brings me to my last question, which is back to Saras. A lot of us want to also aspire to teach. A lot of us aspire to teach. And how does yoga sadhana flow into that journey of wanting to be a teacher, wanting to do yoga acharya with Yoga Vahini, or a yoga vaidya, which is the therapist training with Yoga Vahini?
So I was thinking about this question because I have been getting a lot of questions around this. What is the next step to Yoga Sadhana? I'm thinking if somebody does all the 3 modules of Yoga Sadhana, you're already ready to teach. I don't think you need anything. mm, we may have to offer some, specific ways like teaching classical postures or how to plan a course and how to teach somebody how to observe. Those nuances will have to be added on, but your foundation as a practitioner would be set. If that foundation is strong, then we can build on anything, build on that very easily and very quickly. We don't need a lot of effort. What I find most challenging, I have found most challenging in training programs, is that when people don't have a strong personal practice and they're already getting into a training mode, teaching and training seems to be the most important thing. Learning and teaching seems to be most important. And it takes a long time for somebody to even understand how was my personal practice helping me. And when that gap is there, it is very difficult to fill it because one doesn't even know. If you know you don't know, then you can fill it up. If you don't know that you don't know, then it's very difficult, right? Yoga sadhana actually provides a foundation that all the gaps are filled. Then we build on it. But we don't need to build on it after 1 year, after all the 3 modules. Maybe after the first 4 months, somebody is able to see that I am able to commit to this. By the way, Yoga Sadhana is a 120-hour program, all that, throw it away. Okay, it is a 4-month commitment of your life to yoga and hopefully a lifelong commitment to sadhana. That is what it is. This is how much time you will take to come into a class and do, but every day you have to do your own practice, you have to journal. Yeah, you have to really look at all the other things. So it is a commitment. And that is necessary, for one to truly understand what is yoga and get the value of it. Otherwise, we can just go to some group class, do many things. That's not what this course is meant to offer. So if somebody is asking how much time, how many hours per week, I will not answer that question. We have given you a structure, but I'm saying this has to be a continuous thread of practice and inquiry.
I just wanted to say something that I did not say earlier. Any practice is a 24/7, except the hours you're asleep.
Correct. Correct.
I believe I never ever agree with this on the mat, off the mat comment, statement. Yoga is every second. When I'm talking to you, am I fully present? Am I watching you? Am I listening to what your bodies and your faces are saying? It doesn't matter that I'm not sitting in Sukhasana or whatever. Yoga sadhana actually is a training for the self to understand how to be present every moment for yourself and for everybody else. Like everything in life, there is a price to pay. There is no free lunch. So we will have to change some things in our life. Even coming to this call every day in the morning is a commitment. Going shopping is a commitment. That commitment, does it matter enough to us? And if it does, then this is the right place. I really very, very strongly feel this. Sorry, Saras?
No, I was also saying don't get scared. By the way, all of us are doing many other things apart from this. Lekha has a full-time job. Many of us are doing many things apart from this, right? Arte and Divya are teaching. personal sessions, group classes. I don't even know what I'm doing. Anyway, we're doing many things, but we bring yoga sadhana into all of that. That's what I said. It has to be a continuous thread.
Thank you, Saras. Thank you, Gauri. So I'm going to open the floor and say if you have any questions or anything that you would like to ask or share, now would be a good time.
First, there's a few questions in the chat.
Yes, an absolute beginner can enroll, and the time zone works for aspirants in Europe because we, on each day that there is a group practice, we are offering the same practice 4 different times during the day. Any one of the slots will work for you, right? It will work for any of us. So the slots have been designed in such a way that it covers all parts of the globe. And it's the same practice that is offered. That's also why we pre-recorded the session so that there is no inconsistency. There is a uniformity of how the practice is being taught. Yeah. And okay. So the other question is, how do I coordinate my schedule with um, yours? So remember that like I said, the asana pranayama sessions are offered multiple times on Mondays and Thursdays. So if you are able to squeeze out that 1 hour to practice, that will really help. Plus, the practices are the same that are there on the book, right? So you also have that reference material. On the other days, other than Mondays and Thursdays, you can do either your personal practice or you can do the practice referring to the book. Yeah. And the Saturday sessions are recorded. So we are trying to offer the Saturday sessions during midday in India so that it is early enough for Europe and it's late evening for Australia. So we're trying to make sure that more and more people can attend it. We're also going to vary the timing of the Saturday session to multiple timings so that you can catch at least one session um, during the month live. And we will also be sharing the recordings of the Saturday sessions. So you can always go back and listen to it in case you miss a session, right? And we are going to stay with a particular practice for a week. So even if you miss one session, it is still okay. You can always come back and, you know, do it. And of course, there are Aarti, Divya, I, Gauri, all of us are going to be available on WhatsApp group. In case you missed something and you would like us to fill you in, that's also a possibility. Yeah.
Lekha, I would also like to add, there are some people who say, say, for example, they want to practice regularly at the 6 a.m. slot, but for some reason they are traveling, and if they can, try another slot, that's totally fine. We are flexible about it. Just come and practice. That's all.
Whichever slot works
Yeah.
for you.
There is no
So,
specific slot as such.
yeah. So if you would like to do a 6 a.m. slot on Monday and a evening slot on Tuesday, it's perfectly fine.
Keeping the videos on is a necessity because the teachers are there to observe you teach. Ideally, in this tradition, we have the teacher in front of us who can observe us and guide us. When your videos are on, we can see you and we can make sure that the practice is safe for you. So we want to really mandate that. So make sure you're having a laptop or an iPad for your practice. Maybe ideally a laptop, so that we can see you and observe and then also give feedback, guidance, whatever is required. If for any reason on any day you're not able to have your video on, please message the teachers so that we know why. It's important for us to know. Otherwise, we will catch you, we will call you, we will find out because we really want you to get the best out of it. Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Hi, Lekha. Arul here. Yeah, thanks very much for the introduction and your team. I just want to know about the exact mechanics of this. So we have an hour and a quarter on a regular day, right? And there is a recording on for. I mean, there's a video on for about an hour. Is that the entire time, or is there also a teacher there? That's what you said, right?
Yes. So we will, so your asana pranayama sessions,
Hmm.
there is a pre-recorded session. So there is a video that will be playing with Saras instructing and two people doing the demo. Plus, outside of that, Aarti and Divya will also be there available in case, you require an modification or you have a question about something. They will be there to provide live support.
Also,
Okay.
I think what
Yeah.
Arun is asking is beyond the recorded session, we will also give some time for you to ask
Yes.
questions. Okay.
So after the session, if you would like to stay back and ask a question or something, Aarti and Divya will be available to answer and handle.
Okay, thanks. And you said asana and pranayama, so that would constitute the program, I guess. Is that, or is there more
Is
in
it?
this
Of course,
particular
there is
4
more.
months?
Yeah. So the asana pranayama is what we will be looking at on the Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay,
On Saturdays, we will be looking at other aspects. So
I
we
see.
will look at, our relationship with our body, our relationship with food, lifestyle, because as Gauri very beautifully explained, if I'm going to have a 3 a.m. meal, I'm not going to be able to practice well the next day.
Mm.
So we also have to look at all other enablers.
Mm.
Yeah, all the other factors that enable us to practice, all the other obstacles that prevent us from practicing. And also, like both Saras, Gauri, and Aarti said, the practice is a 24/7 thing. So we're also going to look at what does yoga say about the rest of my life,
Mm.
right? How I show up in life, how I show up in my relationships, how I show up, how I speak. So we're also going to look at all those aspects, but that will be mostly in the Saturday sessions. Saras, you would want to add something?
Actually, I would like to add, so along with the asana and pranayama, there are the journaling prompts, which are so important. On that, on Monday itself, you will do it after the class immediately. And on the other days, so you will be able to do it yourself. On Thursday, again, see, when you're doing a practice on Monday, it's absolutely new. Everything is new. You're doing the same practice on Tuesday, you will know some bits of it. When you come here on Thursday again, the practice will be very different. The same practice, you will actually look at it in a different way. So you can see how practice evolves through the week. So on Sat and you're journaling every day, so you will be able to connect all the dots that Lekha is talking about during the Saturday session. So it's so much deeper going into the Manomaya, into your mind.
I see. And just to look forward to, I mean, look, it's just that you said that there are 3 parts to this. This is the first, tapas. And so does that mean that the other 2 would go into the other aspects of Ashtanga Yoga? So this is yoga, this is asana, pranayama, then there will be pratyahara and so on. Is that what the idea is, or how does it work?
Saras, you want to take this one?
Just taking one sutra from the second chapter, Sadhana Pada, which is Kriya Yoga. How the yoga of action. So how do we bring yoga as action? How do we act in a way that takes us to a state of yoga? There are 3 components: tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhana. The first word tapas is what the first book is. Then swadhyaya, 1 more volume, then ishvara pranidhana. So we'll explore all of this in great detail through the practices and the journaling, the inquiry.
Thank you.
This is
I
also
look
part of
forward.
the niyama. So,
Yeah.
niyama, there are 5 niyamas of the Ashtanga Yoga. In that, tapaswadhyaya ishvara pranidhana.
Yeah, the hardest part is the first few, right? I mean, the yama, niyama. That's also covered in this, I guess. Thanks.
In some way, it will cover many things in the Yoga Sutra.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I look forward.
Do we have any other questions? Okay. So my invitation is that if you have any questions, you can reach out to Aarti or me. You can write to us on the yvcoordinator@gmail.com, or our numbers are readily available. So if you could call us, speak with us, we will be happy to clarify any other questions that you may have. And yeah, Aarti, if you could put both our numbers as well on the chat. Yeah. And yes, if we have no further questions, thank you so much for taking time off on a Sunday evening and spending it with us. Thank you so much for being here. And we can conclude Aarti with a prayer.
I was trying to get your number.
I'll put it there.
Yeah, I'm just adding it here. Oh, asato ma satkamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Recording.